first glance, it may seem like the Specter is the ultimate weapon in The Last of Us multiplayer. It's silent, fully automatic, has an insanely high rate of fire, and for the same price as just about every other purchasable gun in the game, you get quite a bit more ammunition. Upon closer inspection though, it's obvious that Naughty Dog has finely tuned the Specter so as not to overpower it, and designed it to be only used in certain scenarios. Now first, it's important to know how much damage the Specter does. It's pretty hard to tell numerically how much damage it does exactly, but if I had to guess, I'd say probably about 17 or 18 damage for every body shot. It's basically a little bit less than 1 bar of health. To the head, however, the Specter does 2.5 bars, which is basically exactly half health. So basically what I'm getting at here is this is pretty much the weakest gun in the game in terms of damage dealt per bullet. This becomes especially obvious when you come up against an enemy wearing armor, where often an entire clip isn't enough to down them. While technically an entire clip is enough to down an enemy wearing armor, the recoil and the speedy fire rate makes it way too easy for you to waste ammo, and that's why it becomes difficult to down armored enemies with it. Now I found that the Specter is useless really in most classes, except for those built around stealth. The real purpose that this gun was designed for was when you have the drop on an enemy and you want a guaranteed kill. After all, the gun does come with a silencer, so basically when your enemy doesn't see you coming or is turned away from you, and you're in a close proximity to them, that's when the Specter shines. Once your enemies become aware of your presence or get too far away from you, the Specter loses its effectiveness, and you're more likely just to scare your enemy off than actually down them or seriously injure them. You don't have to limit yourself to a completely stealthy class setup to make good use of the Specter though, but you should at the very least be in a cautious and sneaky style of play if you have the Specter equipped. So basically you don't need Covert Training 2 or Agility or Bomb Expert 3 or any of those stealth perks, but you should still be staying out of big firefights and instead be flanking the enemy. In building a class around flanking the enemy, a good perk to have equipped is definitely Crafter 3, because you'll be sneaking around the map a lot and probably going from supply box to supply box. And if you are playing stealthily, you're more likely to be crafting smoke bombs and shivs, and for every smoke bomb and shiv that you craft, you're gonna get a giftable item. So that basically means for every smoke and shiv that you craft, you're getting 160 parts when you factor in the fact that you get 30 parts for every item you craft. So that's all going to add up, and that's going to supply you with quite a lot of parts to purchase Specter ammo with. I also find that Sharp Ears 3 is a really good one to have, because it allows you to move fast and get the jump on enemies without even having to enter the room, because you can see them through walls. Now, as you'd probably expect, the Specter works best on tight maps where it's easy to pull off stealth, like Wharf and High School, but it really depends on which maps you're able to be stealthy on, which ones you're comfortable with using a stealthy playstyle with. So at the end of the day, the Specter is actually one of my least favorite of the new DLC guns, but that's also because I suck at being stealthy usually. I basically feel that the Specter is effective in stealth situations, but ultimately not really worth equipping unless you're very experienced in being stealthy, and the fact that it loses effectiveness over even medium ranges and can be very costly considering how easy it is to waste ammo makes it really hard to recommend the Specter for most players.
I am no fucking god, man!